right, my man. First and foremost, can I have you say and spell your first and last name for me and your position?
Ison Robinson, Ison Robinson. I play defensive tackle.
All right, Ison. First and foremost, let's start from the beginning. How did you get onto this practice field right now? What was your journey?
Well, first it started off quarantine. My granddad, he needed some help. We came over here, helped him, and unfortunately, Indiana, they're playing football, so I got to play football over here. My dad is from Snyder, so it was like a good school. I'm in the neighborhood, close, so we ended up coming over here.
Let's talk about that for a second. Starting out with the whole reason of coming over here. So talk a little bit more. It was your grandfather that had gotten sick. Well, talk more about that.
Yes, my grandfather, he got sick and injured. He wasn't able to walk, so my family made the decision to move me and my mother over here to help my granddad out and help my grandma out, so it's not a lot on her.
Once Illinois said that they weren't going to be playing high school football this season, how tough was that to hear, having to leave your school?
Honestly, it did hurt me because I was wanted to play my last season with my guys, but I came over here. I'm blessed, made some new guys, new friends. Happy to be here.
Let's talk about your dad for a second. Who is your dad?
Jabbar Robinson.
All right. What about who is Jabbar?
Snyder alumni. Big time linebacker here. Went to Indiana, but yeah, it's just man, I really don't. Yeah.
So he's a big time linebacker. He went to Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. And he was here at Snyder. What kind of legacy did he leave here at Snyder?
He definitely told me that his class set the tradition. The Snyder tradition, working hard. It's sophomore year. I think '93 they won state. But he definitely told me about the tradition that Snyder has.
I was gonna say, what did he say Snyder football was gonna be like?
They work hard. Passionate about football. They care about football. Very important in this area.
For sure. To have a dad that is not only your dad, but also somebody who played football at the highest level. What is your guys' relationship like?
Me and my dad, we're a close relation. We talk all the time, football, about life. He's a great person. He gives me good life lessons. Definitely helps me out on the football field. Helped me since I was a little kid. Always told me what to do. He never strayed me the wrong way.
Good deal. Just kind of going back to how everything kind of just worked out in this process. What were your emotions as you were going through from point A to saying, hey, Illinois football, they're not playing this year for the fall, and then hearing the news about your grandfather, going through that emotion, and then turn around and finding out, I might be going to Indiana to play football. Mm-hmm. Just walk me through your emotions through that whole process.
Well, really, at first, what first happened, Illinois told me the football season got canceled. I was hurt, I still had something to prove. And then I got the news with my granddad. I was like, it's sad my granddad's going through this, but I get to play football, so it's actually happy. It's like I'm in the middle of it. But I'm happy to play football overall.
For sure.
Yeah.
What have you experienced about Snyder football so far?
It's a good group of guys. The coaches are great. What's the name? They always work hard. They always keep up the tradition my dad talks about.
What do you think about your new teammates?
Great guys. Great group of guys. Definitely trust me. I definitely trust them. They're willing to work. And we ready to take it far.
A big part of coming over to Indiana was the draw of playing football and being able to play football. How tough was it going through the whole waiting for IHSAA to get the approval?
Man, it was tough. The first 2 weeks, it was tough watching my team struggle without me, and I couldn't do anything. And overall, I knew I was going to play eventually, but it was just a matter of when. But I'm good overall.
Was there a sense of urgency? Did you feel kind of like a clock was ticking?
Kind of, a little bit. It was because you never know with all the corona stuff, seasons could end just like that. But I'm happy to finally be out here.
Why was it so important to play this year?
Because I still have something to prove. Still have some more things I want to produce for the college coaches to see.
especially this year, like you had just mentioned, not every week's not a guarantee, and then you had to wait out a couple of weeks. Specifically for you, why is every snap important this season?
Because it's my last one. That's really all I can say. It's my senior year. I got to show out.
For sure, for sure. Is there anything else you want to add about your journey?
No, sir.
All right, sounds good.
And I do follow the news, and you're doing an outstanding job. Appreciate your coverage with the young men.
Thank you.
And I applaud you, man. I think our youth is our future, as you know, and football and sports raises a lot of young men. And the idea that local media can still cover the high school sports is definitely, I think the kids deserve it. And you've always have carried it in a professional way. So keep it up, Cole.
I appreciate that. Thank you. We care a lot about what we do, and we love giving the kids the platform to be able to take their talents to wherever it might take them.
Absolutely. That's
Well,
all.
that's so you're in Bolingbrook right now?
No, I'm actually in Des Plaines,
Okay.
and I work remote. I have the ability to work remote for my job. Yeah, it's for my job, and I have to come up here periodically.
Okay.
I had to be up here today, so that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Good deal. So how long did you guys live in like the Bolingbrook area?
Oh, we were there 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
About how far is that from like city of Chicago?
Southwest suburb.
So do you guys still consider yourself in Chicago?
No, we moved.
Okay. Well, I meant like, do you?
Yeah, it's Chicagoland. It's Chicagoland, yes.
Okay.
It's all Chicagoland, yes. We're about 30 minutes southwest suburb of the city, right off Route 55 in Bolingbrook, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. So we got the chance to talk to Ison today. You've raised an awesome young man. He's super nice, and you can tell he means business on the field. He's he's fun to watch. But so yeah, he was telling us all about the move. I'm sorry. Is it your father or is it your wife's father?
My father.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yes. He's doing better. He's rehabbing 5 days a week. It just became unbearable for my mother. Was around the same age as him. They're both in their 70s. Trying to transfer him because he recently just went down from a walker to a wheelchair. So he has to be helped transferred from bed to wheelchair, to the front room, wheelchair to the chair. And my mom wasn't telling me this the whole time. You know how they can get a little stubborn and they don't want us to worry. But as time went on and we understand the toll it was taking on her, we decided to definitely make the move. It's not something that Ison wanted to do, and to help out. So we are, moved in as far as over there, and it's a situation where he is needed. What took my mom an hour to do, getting him out of bed, he does it in 2 seconds. And he's rehabbing 5 days a week, and he is getting better. And I think even with us being there and my grandson, I think he's motivated, my father. And I think it's going to have a positive effect. So it's just doing the righteous thing, Colton, and uprooting your family isn't easy. And the fact of the matter is that we were able to, come and help when they needed help. And him, fortunately, being able to play football, which is exciting based on, what went on over here in Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, I mean, if there's any type of silver lining in this thing, it's that he does get to have some type of a season. So, I mean, what is his kind of message been to you about that, of just being excited to be able to even get to play?
Oh, you couldn't believe it, man. I mean, ecstatic. He was just happy as all get out. I actually didn't see him personally when he found out, but from what my wife said, he was smiling from ear to ear, and he had to transition very quickly to getting in game mode. So I'm proud of him for that, and we got the win, and he helped them win, and I'm just happy for Panthers and Snyder and everybody, the community and football community, that we got the win, because first 2 weeks were rough. They were rough.
Absolutely.
Even as former alumni, man, it's tough to see that. And we know that's not the brand of football that Snyder has historically put out over the years. But I know one thing: we're fighters, and Panthers always land on their feet. And you're going to see a Kurt Tippmann that will, not stand for anything else but our best, and us giving our best, and making sure we put the proper product out. So I know they're going to fight to the end, and so far so good. I mean, we're now into week 4, and you take it a week at a time, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I was talking to Tippmann today. I didn't know how far you guys go back from Snyder to Indiana.
Yes,
So
way
you
back.
probably,
Go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say, you probably feel pretty comfortable handing your son over to somebody like that who will help coach you.
Yes, absolutely. Kurt came from the same cloth that I came from. He came up under Coach Hawley, then Coach Ike. He actually played for Coach Hawley, and Coach Ike was there too as an assistant. My freshman year is when Coach Ike got the head coaching job. So by my senior year, Kurt had graduated from college, came back, assistant coach my senior year, and then we kind of went together to Indiana my freshman year, and he went in as a general assistant. He was Mallory's top right-hand man as far as the grad assistant. And the toolage he had from playing at Snyder and then being under Coach Hawley and Coach Ike, and then going on and getting that toolage from Coach Mallory. Kurt's seen it all, high school, collegiate level, and he's kind of rolled with me and kind of seen me develop. So yeah, we go way back, and Kurt's a great guy. A lot of sacrifices that he, as all the coaches, they do. But I wouldn't, and for me as a dad to have my son experience the culture that I came from is amazing, because I know what it's done for me. I know what it do for him. And then now he understands where I got, because I coached my son in youth football up through 8th grade before he went into high school. And now he knows where I get my crazy from, with conditioning and all of that, and the way, the expectation of greatness, and, going about it the right way, and making sure you're just a tough football player, hard-nosed, fundamentally sound, and just never give up. So he knows where I'm getting it from now, because he's called me on many of occasions to tell me how practice is. And Kurt has really been able to take the tradition and keep the tradition alive, because they do similar things in drills and conditioning drills and so forth that they still carry on. And that's important with culture, and that's important with tradition, establishing it that carries on through the young men that are currently there.
For sure. And I mean, you, with being familiar with the program, being familiar with the coaching staff is there, he mentioned a lot about you kind of briefing him on the Panthers tradition and the Snyder culture before he got there. What were some of those conversations like? What did you tell him that he was going to be walking into?
Well, number one, you're going to work, and you're going to work hard. Number two, it's a team game, and they're going to preach team. Number three, you owe it to the program. You owe it for the guys that you're playing with, your brothers you're currently playing with, and all the alumni previous before you, to give it your best effort. And I said it's a very unique experience. He listened, and he took it all in, and he's naturally always been a kid that's been a leader and someone that can adapt well. So I wasn't concerned with that transition, but me giving him heads up that first day of practice, he called me, said, "Dad, you were right. We run, man. We run." I said, "Yeah, I told you you're going to work hard. You're going to run." He said, they ran a lot more than what he was accustomed to in practice. So he was a believer real quick.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, coming from your guys' relationship is special. Not only are you guys father and son, but I mean, as he tries to take his talents to the next level, he's getting advice from not only a dad, but somebody who played at the highest level at one point. So what are some of those conversations like between you and him?
Well, each level is different. and I tell him all the time, the same way when he walked out there for Pee Wee football and he had to earn his position and he had to um, go out and earn the respect of your teammates, of your coaches. I said, that never changes. I said, all that happens is there's one consistent thing as you go from level to level that you got to understand that does not change, is that's the work. And if you're not willing to work and you're not willing as the levels go up, work harder and understand that there is never a place of contentment with what you put into the game and what you invest in the game, I said, then you'll be all right. I said, I've seen plenty of athletes plateau because they weren't able to make the transition to the high school game. They wasn't able to make the transition to the college game. They wasn't able to make the transition to the pro game. And you got to understand work, and you understand that hard work is just a prerequisite. But what are you going to do different from the competition? What is that? Is that you picking your favorite hill and making sure once a week you go over there and run 3 or 4 sprints? Is that you doing your 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups, 25 crunches every day? What are you doing outside of the competition to differentiate yourself so when you get to the game, it shows on that Friday night or it shows on that Saturday? And then number 2, man, just envisioning good things, just envisioning good plays, just envisioning just good thoughts about what's going to happen, what games you're going to try to go out and accomplish as a team and win, and just putting yourself in where your preparation meets um, the opportunity, and you take advantage of it when it comes to fruition. And just kind of putting that in him. And right now he's still at the high school level, and he's definitely a college prospect, and he's getting recruited. And we're still in the middle of that. But right now, what can he control, right? Control the controllables, I tell him. Right now, what you can control is your high school season, the best player that you can be, and helping your team win. That's it. We'll worry about the next level later. And just taking it step by step. And what I love about the game, Colton, is what it gives to the individuals. It raises a lot of young men, and I know he's learned a lot of life lessons along the way. So I just try to help him with understanding the process, that it's the same, but it just takes a little bit more energy and effort, a little bit more study, becoming a student of the game, and just trying to help him in what he can conceive now, what the levels are, and that the work doesn't change. It's just you putting more into it and being more specific on how to go about getting that done is the main thing.
For sure. For sure. Obviously different positions, but maybe where do you see a little bit of yourself in your son when he's out there on the field?
He loves physicality. He loves the just physical part of the game. Me personally, I love the contact. I mean, it wasn't about me scoring a touchdown. It wasn't about me. I was a defensive player that wanted to go out and dominate my opponent every play. I don't care if that's the offensive lineman, running back. And I see that with Ison. He's a wrestler. He's wrestled since he's been 8 years old. So the interior line and the lineman thing fits perfect. But his physicality, his awareness of the game, his instinct about the game, knowing, understanding the feel of where to be in the right position, is I definitely see similarities a lot there. And I'm glad I was able to pass that on. But he's a tough football player. He's bright, student of the game. Hopefully the film that we've watched over the years, I've had him watching film since he's been in youth football. He can break down film. He understands all the different techniques, from 2 technique, 3 technique, 4-eye, 9 wide. He understands football. And it's good because I had to kind of grow into that. He has that already in high school. So I'm just interested to see where it goes and how it goes as far as his development. But I would say the physicality and just his instinct of the game is something that I see a lot of similarity. He loves to hit. He loves to definitely tangle. And one thing that he did that I didn't do, which I wish I would have done instead of trying to have basketball dreams early and trying to play basketball and football, was wrestle. I tell anybody, uh, if you're not playing another sport, just go out and wrestle. It is a sport that just toughness, discipline, awareness, leverage, um, how to take a man down. A lot of that is, football, you have to make a tackle. You got to know how to take them down. And that is one thing that he got that experience at a young age and wrestled all the way through high school. And I see it in his game because it correlates with the football game, as you may know, very well. And he's enough to deal with in that middle. I tell you that.
Oh, he's a beast. What is it? 495 4 times? Is that his
crazy.
PR?
I was never that strong, Colton. Never. I don't know where he gets that from.
Like 5 of me, man.
Oh man. Oh my. What are you, about a buck? What, 65?
Dude, on my best day, I'm usually like a buck 40, buck 45. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's a strong individual. And again, he's been training a while. And again, these kids have so much more resource than we had with all the specific training and the way they can take care of their bodies, and it's amazing. So I'm amazed at some of the things that he's able to do with that weight training. My goodness, that's a lot of weight.
It is. Now, was that the PR, or do you think he could do? I mean, he could probably do a little bit more, just one rep, probably, couldn't he?
Yeah. So they have ways of where you can correlate amount of reps on what your 1 rep max is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what 495 at 4 times. I think I try to look it up. It might be around a 550, 560 one-time squat. But that particular deal, he's never put on 5 plates and did it 4 times. That was the first take, 1 take, and that was it. I knew he knew. I know he knew that he could do it probably 1 time, but I think he was just feeling good and just repped it out, and he put up 4, which was that's scary weight there.
It's amazing what you can do when the cameras come out and people are around.
Man, Colton, it's something else, man. It's a lot of weight. You saw the bar bending, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That's crazy. Now, with this season being the whirlwind that it is, and all the crazy stuff that's happened, I mean, what would you justify for him as having a good, successful season?
I think number one, just being a leader of the team and doing all he can from a preparation standpoint to be a good example, not only for himself, but for his team on how to go about business, how to prepare, how to go out there on Fridays and perform. And if anything, these young guys that are taking the lumps now can take that, as well as the other leaders on the team and what they exhibit, and run with it for next year in preparation. Now, that doesn't mean we give up on this year. This year is still young. I think they could really turn this thing around and make it a successful year, however long they can get in the tournament, in the playoffs. But for Ison in particular, be a great example, be a great leader, lead your team, show the young guys how to go about their business, and go out and compete and go out and try to win every game. As long as that effort is there, and as long as you have been a great example, I think it's a successful season, regardless of what record that they have. But I do know that if they keep fighting at it, they have the ability, they have the talent. It's just coming together as a team. Where are you at week 8, week 9, going into the playoffs? How is that momentum? Has it gelled? It doesn't matter what happened in week 1 and 2, because those teams in week 1 and 2 that are winning now could be totally flip-flopped when it comes week 8, week 9, and they're 500 or they're under 500 because they just kind of unraveled as a team. So for Ison, per se, I know I kind of got a little bit long-winded there, Colton, just being an example of how to go about your business every day in practice, giving it his best, and going out there trying to compete and win, I think a successful season for Ison. I'm sure he's going to produce. I'm sure he's going to put up numbers. I'm sure he's going to do those things. And that'll help the team. But to me, when you ask me, what would be a successful season for the Ison, would be him being an example, the right way of how to prepare and how to go out and perform, and just going out and competing and trying to win every game, I think would be a successful year for me personally, for him. Yeah.
Was it kind of tough, as from a dad standpoint, waiting for that IHSA clearance, especially, when you want him to get to play this season, and that was a big bonus of coming to Indiana, but then having to sit out until week 3 is kind of like a hurry up and wait type of deal.
Oh man, I tell you, it was definitely a process that that they got right, and very frustrating. But at the same time, that's why they have process, and that's why they have an opportunity to make it right, and they did. But yeah, it was definitely up and down with emotion,
Sure.
especially when you're seeing your team struggle, and you want to be able to do something about it. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're talking, Colton, and we move on, man.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Jabbar, is there anything else that you wanted to add while we're chatting?
No, Colton, just keep doing what you're doing. Pave the way. I know you have a bright future, it looks like, and you're passionate about it. And I just appreciate you, and I appreciate the coverage for all of you guys, you media, with the young men. It means a lot, and it gives them the exposure that I think they all deserve. I know what football has done for me, and I know it will do for those other young men. And it's just a beautiful thing to see what the game can give you. Let the next generation continue to shine and move forward and be better than us. But thank you, Colton, and I appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to meeting you personally soon.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I wish I could throw this whole interview in here because this was great, but it will be the extended interview. The whole interview will be on our website though, so you can go back and watch everything. And yeah, so hopefully this will help start getting some more eyes on him too.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Colton.
Coach, first and foremost, you've seen him play just 1 week. What do you like about Robinson so far?
Well, I mean, he's been practicing with us since July 6th, so we've got a good dose of him. I mean, he's a smart football player. He's been well coached. He's got great energy, great motor. He's technically very good. I mean, he plays with good technique, good body position, good hands. He's got great hands, great feet. So he does all the technical things that it takes to play defensive line very, very well. And, that just equates to being in the right place in the right time. And he's a big guy. He moves well for 265 pounds and all the things you want a defensive lineman to be.
You kind of answer it with that question, but what maybe sets him aside for recruiters that are looking for somebody at the next level?
His size and how he moves for his size, and technique. He plays well. For a defensive lineman, he's not a huge guy, but he moves well, he reads well, and he plays well with his hands, and his feet move well. So those are all good things.
How has he started to fit in with the Snyder program?
He's been great. Like I said, he's been part of our team since July 6th, and since he came here, and it's been good. I think he's, everything's different this year, so it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, he's not in school all the time with everybody. I mean, everybody's all over the place in terms of that, but he's right a part of the team as anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously he's been with you guys since July, early part of July, but last week was the first time you got to see him in game motion.
Right.
What did you like from him yet last week as far as playing in game?
Just his quickness. His solid defensively. He's not out of position. He knows where to go. He's just a very veteran, experienced, fundamentally sound defensive lineman. So, he's in the right gap and makes that easier for the linebackers to play, and makes a good soundness to the defense on the front.
Sounds good. Is there anything else you want to add about him, Coach?
Nope. I mean, he's a great kid, great student. He's done everything that we've asked of him, and has had a great attitude amongst everything.
How much do you know about his dad, Jabbar, and his playing days here?
I know quite a bit. I was here coaching Jabbar here, and then I was coaching him when I was at IU. So been with him quite a bit.
So you know the Robinsons pretty well then.
Yep.
Good deal. So I mean, what about Ison's game? Do you see maybe a little bit of Jabbar in?
Well, they're different positions, but I would say, their aggressiveness. That they love playing football. That kind of you see. Anytime a guy that just enjoys contact, enjoys the physical nature of the game, I think that's something that presents itself in both players, and the knowledge of the game. Some kids are good at playing, but they don't understand the game. But I think both those guys understood the game and just know the nuances of the game and just are smart, heady football players.
Good deal. Anything else you want to add, Coach?
Nope.
All right, appreciate it.